You're listening to Frank Talks Pleasures and Lifestyles, and I'm Frank because I have to be. On today's show, we are talking with a gentleman who is known as DJ Faith. DJ Faith is a DJ who services the Montreal community and has a number of other areas of his life that he's going to share with us. Welcome to studio, DJ Faith.
Thank you, Frank.
All right, let's start off with the first question. Where were you born, and different elements of your upbringing that eventually led you to being a DJ?
Well, I was born in Montreal and raised in Montreal. And after studying for almost 13 years of theology and religious studies, I had this passion for music as much as being a DJ as being a songwriter. And pushing that passion led me in some different scenes in Montreal, where I became a DJ and public relation and started being involved with lots of events.
What kind of events have you DJ'd?
Well, mainly in the beginning were like bars, because back in the 80s and late 80s there was not as much segregation. It was like more like you would go to certain bars and they would play different styles of music without actually being labeled. So I started like doing events in different bars. And until it led me in the, like around 91, where it became gothic, industrial, like a label, like a fashion, where I started to get involved in that. Until fetish came more popular in Montreal, and then I started doing DJs for events like that as well.
Now, when you were DJing, what exactly, and walk me through this, what is the day-to-day lifestyle of someone who's a DJ?
Well, there's a lot of research, and we have to take in mind that back then there was no internet, and there was no, Napsters and Casa and all that stuff, so you really had to go in the little shops on Mont Royal and, little used record shop and, start hunting vinyls and finding all this stuff that's from Europe, Germany, Belgium, and, try to get, like, the best playlist possible. So I guess that's... The lifestyle was a lot of record hunting and a lot of PR, going out, even nights where you're not actually working, to keep in touch with scenes and people, and that's a pretty much nocturnal life, I would say.
And how has that changed now that the internet has taken hold?
Well, it's more it's another ball game, because now you have, let's say you're working on you have an event, and 2 weeks before that event you want to refresh your playlist. Or you can spend 2 days on the net and you can download stuff and make fresh compilations, and then you could show up and work, and every time you work you can bring new stuff and new remixes, and it's more accessible and it's easier. And the vinyls, well, for that style of music are not as popular as for, let's say, trance or R&B or house. So you work a lot with CDs, so it's a lot easier on that side. But you still have to be very creative.
Now, how long have you been a DJ?
I started in 85, 86.
So you've been at this now for at least 15 some odd years.
Yeah, at least.
And in that time of playing other people's music, did you ever start to compose or create your own music?
As a matter of fact, I did in 1989. I founded my first project that was called, or that is still called, Westerndream, which was kind of a dark, psychedelic, gothic-oriented project, and started doing shows all over, across Montreal for different events as well. And if you want to know some events, it was like there was a place called the Studio on Saint Laurent that was part of the Just for Laugh Museum. Did some shows there. Played at Fufun Electric a lot of times. Lion d'Or. All kinds of places like that, and very theatrical shows with a band playing, dancers, and conceptual TVs with visuals and live animals, all kind, like presented like a apocalyptic circus, something like that,
An apocalyptic circus?
Yeah, and it's like a circus that is moving from city to city, at the end of times, that's the concept I used to do with Westerndream.
Oh, this is really interesting. Can you elaborate on apocalyptic?
Well, apocalyptic in the sense that we're living at a time where a lot of religions and spiritual beliefs think that it's the end of a cycle or aeon or like the age of Aquarius, a new beginning, golden age, all these stuff. So to have a band that would like take elements from different religious background and put it in some kind of dark music with like musicians that wear actual costumes and have a symbolic on stage. That's what I was trying to do with when I say a circus for the end of times. We had a dancer, we had live snakes and reptiles and stuff like that, And the music is very very hard and heavy and mood oriented,
Where did you get the live animals, the snakes and the reptiles?
Well, that's another passion, and that goes back even further. Since I'm 5, I've always been fascinated by reptiles and started collecting reptiles when I was really young. And until I had a collection that was built like by the age of, 16, 17, I had like around 40 different animals. So people used to ask me, hey, can you bring a snake for this event? Can you bring this? Can you bring that? And I started doing that until it led me to be like an animal prop specialist for movies as well. So I'm pretty known in Montreal as the guy you call when you need some weird critter or some weird reptile and stuff like that.
How many animals do you have right now?
Right now I've got around 20 of them, mainly lizards.
And you don't ever get worried that a snake or a lizard is going to escape from its cage?
It's already happened, but it's more or less under control. It takes a lot of energy and care, but once everything is under control, it rarely happens. But it's already happened that I've lost some animals, or that they escaped, or that they bit me, or stuff like that. But overall, it's pretty under control.
What's the most dangerous animal you've got right now?
Right now, it's a monitor lizard, actually. Lizard that gets around 6 feet adult size, which is carnivorous and is a bit of a scavenger. So and he's still young, but still very aggressive. So that's the most dangerous animal that I have right now. But I've handled some snapping turtles that were really aggressive, and some snakes as well, but non-venomous. But some snakes, even though non-venomous, could be pretty dangerous.
Like which ones?
Like a blood python or a carpet python, or actually some big bird-eating tarantulas as well, or scorpions, stuff like that. Which I'm not too keen of, but I have worked with insects as well.
And is that something that you don't get to decide which animals you get to work with?
I have a say for that. Like if somebody would ask me something that's like a monkey, or something that's really risky on a health level, because a monkey, if it bites you, you can get really sick, for instance. So at that point, I'm going to say no, I don't do that. Or a venomous snake is illegal, so I'm going to tell whoever calls me, well, I'm sorry, I don't do that. So there is a limit, but I will always decide where I stop and where I go. I go on.
Let me get this straight. You would rather work with a bird-eating tarantula than work with a monkey?
Definitely.
Because the monkey is more dangerous.
The monkey is very dangerous, especially when they come from the old continent. All monkeys that are from Africa and India have a virus that if they bite the human is going to get really, really sick and eventually die. And vice versa. If a human bites a monkey that's from the old continent, the monkey will die. That's what you call the bee virus. So it's a kind of a booby trap to avoid monkeys and humans from mingling. It's quite interesting.
Let's get back to your education in theology.
Sure.
Why theology?
Why theology? Because since I was very young, I was always fascinated by ancient history and always convinced that there must have been something behind, the Bible and all these, these things that are so present in our civilization. So I was very interested in learning the actual language in which the Bible was written. So I started studying Hebrew, and then I did a bit of Latin, and I had a chance to study the Old Testament in its original language and see, all different books and commentaries, and try to see the evolution of religion, from paganism to Christianity, Islam, Judaism, and all these actual, monotheistic religions.